Hello, my YouTube people. It is 2 o'clock in the morning, and Tony and River are asleep, and I have had a very shitty week. So, I thought, fuck it, let's make a video, because mentally I'm like, but I can't sleep. So here I am. God, my face is swollen. My whole body is swollen. I literally put on 30 pounds in a month. I shit you not. I weigh more right now than I did when I gave birth to River. And it's all just bloat. Crohn's and swollen legs and all kinds of stupid shit. I had a horrible migraine Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today until about 1 o'clock. My Crohn's went apeshit, and I threw up from yesterday afternoon until about noon today. So once the migraine especially was over, I was just like, it gives you a whole new perspective after you've had 4 days of a fucking migraine in like a 5-day period. You're just like, oh my god, I lived. I went to the fucking park today. Once I felt better, cleaned the house. I've been in a hell of a good mood. Migraines really make you appreciate not fucking having a migraine. I have, let me turn this down because that's mighty close to the computer and I don't want to get hit with a copyright infringement thing or anything. I have been thinking a lot because I think I mentioned this before. This year on the summer solstice, it'll be 20 years since I dedicated myself to the craft and Athena and Hermes and all that. But I go like every 3 years or whatever, I do like a big dedication to the gods and I do all that shit all over again. Look at all my white hair. And if you notice all the reddish color, yeah, look at this shit. Oh, your girl will be dyeing her hair first chance I get. Look at all that. Anyway, oh yeah. So I usually do like a big dedication every 3 years, which would mean next year would be that time. Next year will be 21 years when I do it every 3 and all that good shit. And I kind of like my system with that, but I also kind of feel like 2 whole decades, it's time to tally up all the things that you have not learned yet. Like what? I think it's a time to at least reflect on what I have learned, think about the basics that maybe I take for granted and completely skip over in some cases. Cakes and ale. I used to do that even though I'm solitary. I used to do it with every single ritual, and now I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But, like evaluate shit that used to be important to me in ritual that I don't do anymore. Evaluate shit that I do now and think about shit that I want to learn and, all that. I think it's at least a time for reflection, maybe. And to freak myself out by thinking that in 20 years I'm going to be 51 and oh my fucking god. And the time it took me to get from dedicating myself to the craft for the first time to here, in that amount of time, I will be 51 years old, and that's fucking crazy. But, you use it like a birthday and freak myself completely out. No, I've been trying with Grandma to kind of think of things that she's never done, or think of things that she maybe hasn't done in a long time. Like, my plan on Sunday is to, for her and me and my mom, because whatever, to go to a movie theater to see the movie, Tully. Because Grandma really liked the trailer and I really liked the trailer, and Grandma literally has not been to a movie theater to see a movie since the movie While You Were Sleeping was out on movie theater. That was the last time she went to a movie theater to see a movie. Now, those of you who are old enough to remember that movie, just take that in for a minute. True story. I went with her to see it. It was not a great movie. But I hate this fucking toilet seat. Yeah, like I want to take her to the movies, and then we have a drive-in that's like right down the road. It's one of the only real drive-ins left in the entire country. And it's great because you can get in and see 2 movies for like $7. But we don't have a car. The grandma does. But there's nothing so far that they have planned to show that my grandmother has any fucking interest in. However, they also have a flea market there. And that grandma would be interested in. We used to go to flea markets all of the time when I was a kid. And then they closed down like all of the indoor flea markets. And we just, stopped going. So, yeah. And I've also been thinking a lot about like a physical witchy community. I know they have meetings somewhere here in Columbus. Still got migraine fog going on, please. Excuse me. But I know they have meetings here in Columbus because I get the emails about them. But I don't know, like, who puts them together, who they are, what they do. I don't know any of that. I would love to see, though, stuff like they had when I first got into witchcraft. Because Columbus used to have a pretty good community. I mean, it was fractured because you had the Salem's West people, which my mom was a part of. And then you had the, oh my god, what was it? Shadow Realm people, which were the kind of weirder, freaky, that my biological dad was involved in people. But they did come together to do stuff like the Witch's Ball, which was not much of a ball at the time. It was pretty much, I don't know if you guys, any of you from Columbus or whatever, have ever been to Gallery Hop. It was like Gallery Hop, but for witch stores. They stayed open late and everybody like walked through, and they did have authors there, which was funny because both of the shops were like that big. And people would, crowd in, and the Christians would come, and one of them, I remember, it was sitting there with the pamphlets and like hit me right in the head on purpose with it. I'm 11 years old going, what the fuck is wrong with you? But the guy that owned Salem's West, he ended up becoming a witchy writer, and he ended up thinking he was hot shit, and closed down the store, and kind of like just acted like he didn't know any of the people that helped him make his store successful back in the day. So once the shops closed down, and at one point there was just Pearls of Wisdom, that was the last shop left. And Pearls of Wisdom is not, just not a witchy community bringer together type of environment. It's more like they just sell metaphysical shit because it makes them money, and, I was never fond of the people that ran Pearls of Wisdom. But I would like to see something like a community come back together in Columbus, because I don't want to force paganism on River, and I don't want to like make her do rituals and shit like that. When she's old enough, she'll decide that shit on her own. But I think it would be kind of cool to have a group of people where, there are other little kids that their moms are witches and do weird shit, and, just so she knows that we're not the only freaks in the neighborhood. I don't know. But I've been thinking about that, and I've just been thinking about then and now, and what I'd like to see in the future, and I have been, and because, okay, everybody, we all like to believe that if you are a good person, good things happen to you. However, my personal experience has been that is not necessarily true. And in my life, I've seen a lot of shitty people get exactly what they want, while people who try to do good and be good and all that get shit on over and over and over again. And, I know that this is not how things are supposed to go, and I know that that is not right and just, and we all know I'm obsessed with justice. So, I became obsessed with trying to, figure out why this is. Why do shitty people always get what they want? I mean, let's not forget who our president is. The asshole stomped all over everybody, didn't give a shit about anybody but himself, and he got exactly what he wanted, to the detriment of probably the entire world. But anyway, so here's what I've concluded. Okay. Stay with me now. Here's my theory. Please leave any comments you might have concerning this theory in the comment section, because I'd love to hear your feedback. My theory is that at this point in time, and for the last at least few hundred years, or at least since the Industrial Revolution and all that, and since we've had the very, very, very wealthy families and all that, the people who, struck it rich, and they started out humble, but by the time you got to their kids and grandkids, they were total pricks because they were raised with a lot of money. Waltons. And no, I don't mean the TV show Waltons. Anyway, here's what I've concluded. Okay. I have concluded that because we have turned to the worst aspects of masculine energy, and we have become a society that rewards selfish behavior, that worships money in a way that promotes greed and selfishness and anger and violence and all of that, if you are a shitty person, you are going with the flow of the energy that our society has, as a whole, is kind of putting out there. If, however, you do not go with the flow of greed and violence and anger and all of that, you have to struggle because you are literally going against the flow of energy. You are the dominant energy that is out there. You are not part of that. You are swimming against the current of it, which is funny because I have, all of my life, since my earliest memories, I've always literally felt every day like I am swimming against the current. And this kind of makes sense with that. If you are not a selfish asshole, you are swimming against the current of the predominant energy, and that is why selfish asshole people get what they want, and good people have to work twice as hard to get half the stuff. Tell me if that makes sense to you, or if I sound like a crazy person. It is 2:17 in the morning, and I do have a migraine fog, so cut me some slack, you know. But I was thinking about maybe making videos, because there are prayers that I say every single morning. It's like a group of prayers that I got from different things that I think almost all of them is from Silver Ravenwolf. At certain, I got one of them from doing her end of the year December thing, but it worked really well, so I just kept doing it, and now I'm like 4.5 or 5 years in to doing it every single day. And I think the second one also came along with that. But I was thinking about maybe doing a video about those prayers and doing a basic beginner video on exactly how to raise a cone of power and put it in a candle, and just simple beginner stuff like that, just because I really don't, I am not super cool doing spells and rituals on camera. I think I did it once and I fucked half of it up because I was a nervous wreck. But I do feel like I should, I don't know, make some kind of video doing some type of witchy shit and not just talking in my bathroom at 2:30 in the morning. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight. I don't know if I'm going to change my mind and be like, fuck it, I'm not going to do it at all. I don't know. But I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about a lot of shit. that's what happens when you can't get off the couch and you're trying to avoid the bone-crushing pain on both sides of your head. So, I love you guys, and I've missed you guys, and I'm going to try to do something to spice up my channel since I abandoned you guys for months on end, and some of you have even continued to watch me. Alright, I love you guys.